Welcome, Insiders Elite, to this Saturday show. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. Today we've got, as always, the amazing Jamie Adamchuk, but today we've got a special guest. The man on our show today has had the opportunity to travel around the world, inspiring tens of thousands of people through his coaching, his workshops, his retreats. He's an entrepreneur. He's a transformational mindset expert. He's a professional hypnotist. He's the CEO of Jack Inspires, and most importantly, has a lifelong learning mindset and committed to growth. I'd like to welcome my dear friend, Jack Cross.
Thank you so much, Mick. Thank you so much for Jamie. And I just want to let everyone know out there that it wasn't always that way for me. For many years of my life, I struggled. I had massive insecurities in my life. I let fear, I let doubt, I let shame, I let guilt, I let other people's opinion of me suppress me and keep me down and prevent me from living the life that I desired. I let many opportunities pass me by because I wasn't sure of myself, and I was so insecure and I had no belief in myself. And over the past 12 years, I've been on a massive journey of personal development, helping to get rid of those negative limiting beliefs, remove all those negative thoughts out of my mindset so that I could really step in to become the person that I chose to be, to start choosing life, to start creating the life that I desire, start attracting success into my life. And it's been an amazing journey. I've been loving the process. I'm committed to growth, and I'm committed to getting out there and sharing with others everything that I've learned, all the tools, all the teachings, all the strategies and the techniques to really help people break through and step into that next best version of themselves. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. I feel very blessed to be on this show, to be with you guys, because I know how amazing and enthusiastic and encouraging you are. So I just love being around like-minded individuals. Thank you so much for having me.
That's awesome. Brother Jack, you said something absolutely amazing there. I was listening in, and you said you chose life. Now, I got to say, there sounds like there's a little bit of a story there with making that big, bold statement of choosing life. Can you bring us through that? Can you tell us what was going on and how you made that decision?
Yeah, man. Great question, Jamie. Great question. And thank you for catching that and bringing it up, because there definitely is. And there was a pinnacle time in my life. I remember when, I remember it very clearly, because I was in a really toxic, dark space in my life. I was in a job that I absolutely hated, and it was every day. I hated waking up in the morning. I was in a toxic relationship. I was surrounded by an environment and a group of people that were really holding me down and keeping me back and weren't supporting me and encouraging me. And I was living in such a victim mindset, Jamie. And I remember at the age of 23, I still remember the phone call, mate. I picked up the phone, and I was over at my mum and dad's house, and I saw my mum pick it up, and she said, Ken's died. And I just saw it cripple her, Jamie. Her knees buckled underneath her. I remember catching her as she almost hit the ground. And it was he was her favorite brother, her closest brother, my favorite uncle, the one that, you know, that special family member you've got in your life that's really close to you. Died. Dropped dead, mate. 49 years young. Had a heart attack, mate, on a Sunday morning. And it just rocked my world. It was like a slap in the face. It just woke me up. And for the first time, I started asking myself, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do with my life? Not what society says I wanted to do, not what mum and dad and my family said I had to do, not what the school system said I had to do, not what the community said I had to do, not what the area and location that I was living in. What do I want to do? And it was so sacred, that question, because I'd never given myself permission to dream. I'd never given myself permission to choose life. And I've been living as a victim, mate. It was a victim mindset. It was just the world that I was living in. And it was at that moment that I got really clear on what I wanted for the first time. And I wrote it all down, and I started taking action towards it. The biggest thing that I had to do was I had to start making massive changes in my own life. I had to stop surrounding myself with people that weren't moving in the same direction as me. I had to put myself in different environments, and that's when I started working on myself. That's where the personal development journey started. And I went from that state where I was in this terrible job, this terrible relationship, living in this town that wasn't serving my growth at the time, to within 1 year, traveling the world, running wellness programs on luxury cruise liners, inspiring, empowering thousands of people every single week. And it happened that fast. As soon as I got clear on I wanted, Mick, let go of what wasn't serving me, and started taking action and started saying yes to myself. And it took massive courage to walk away from that environment and step through the doors. And every time the opportunities came in, I was terrified because I didn't know how to do it. I hadn't done it before. And I was absolutely terrified, but I did it anyway, bro. I did it scared, I did it unprepared, and I did it anyway. And here I am now, 12 years later, bro, just trailblazing, having an amazing life, running my own business, helping people all over the world, helping people that were in the same position that I was in, how to break through and step into the next chapter.
Wow, Jamie, that's Jack, that's amazing. And I actually remember, because Jack, people don't know, maybe don't know that Jack and I grew up in the same town. We
yes.
For a long time. And one thing I actually remember having a conversation with Jack not long after he decided that. He's like, bro, I'm going over, I'm working on cruise ships, I'm doing this. I'm like, holy wow, it's like just this radical shift. And I was like, whoa, like, and I'm always one that give me a high five, go for it. Let's get involved, like that. And it's more so now than I used to be, but I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, he's just going to go off on this huge journey and it was going to be amazing. And I literally remember that conversation. And you said something really interesting there, giving yourself permission to ask those questions. So often people hold themselves back because they don't give themselves permission to make that step or to be courageous or to take that leap. And if you were going to say to anybody, like, to give themselves permission, what's the one or two things that someone can do to really open up that, to give themselves more permission, to help with that permission frame internally?
Well, man, it's been a massive, like I said at the start, I was really so insecure, Mick, for so many years. And even along that journey, personal development is a constant evolutionary growth process. But I'd never given myself permission to live my dream, even though I so badly wanted to. I was so living in a victim mindset, and I was living in blame, brother. And I was pointing my finger at everyone else around me, saying it was their fault. And it had nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with anyone. You enter this world on an inhale, and you are going to leave this world on an exhale, and you aren't taking anyone with you, mate. And when I got clear on that, and trust me and believe, I love humanity, I love serving, I love growth, but you've got to be the first person in your world, brother. You are your own rescue. You've got to make a commitment to you, number one. And when I made that commitment with me, that high agreement with me, Mick, that my life is me, and I broke free of all of those limiting beliefs and victimhood mentality, that's when I started making choices. And it's about self-mastery, it's about self-discovery, but it's about falling in love with who you are. And we as society, Mick, drown down our inner voice to the noise of the crowd. Every time our heart's talking to us and telling us what to do, that voice that comes in. And anyone might be able to experience this. Have you heard that voice say, no, I can't do that. It's not possible. I'll never be able to do that. And we talk ourselves out of it through these limiting belief systems. So what I've learned is that a lot of people have negative programs that have been passed on from their childhood by many, many ways. We're programmed. That for the first 5 to 7 years of our life, our brain is literally in a state of hypnosis. It's literally in a state of downloading programs. The conscious mind hasn't woken up yet. So the subconscious mind is alive for the first 5 years of your life. And it's just literally absorbing everything it's seeing and hearing and saying, And the kids, you tell a kid, Mick, about Santa Claus, listen, you tell your little boy, if you'll be naughty, I'm going to call Santa Claus. And he believes you, because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So we're just downloading programs, right? And so a lot of times we have these limiting beliefs that are passed on to us, and they're not true. They're not true. They're just a belief system, a thought that we keep thinking, or a program that we've been given. And when we can start to learn to understand that and really understand how our mind functions, we're able to start creating new empowering belief systems that help us to move forward. And this is a very powerful subject to understand how our mind works. This is something that's very near and dear to my heart. And when we can break through and make new empowered belief systems and reprogram our mind, that's when the power starts to happen. And you can see people out there that have got very powerful mindsets. They have programmed themselves for success, but it didn't start that way. It did not start that way. They made a choice to do that because they were done living a mediocre life. They were done being a victim, and they were done allowing other people to control their circumstances.
Yeah. So here's a really great question to tag on to that. You made a decision, and in a moment, everything changed. Literally, in that moment, everything changed. You said, you know what? No, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go live that life. I'm giving myself permission right now in this very second. Was there more to that, or was it literally one moment you were here, and then the next moment it's like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm going for it all. What did that look like?
Yeah, it was an ongoing process, Jamie. You know, because it's constantly evolving, and this is something to beautifully talk about, Jamie, because it was that first deciding moment. And then I had to start changing my behaviors. I had to start changing my actions. I had to start changing my thoughts, my mindset, my feelings, the way I'm feeling. I had to start creating a new version of myself. And everything in this world is created twice. Everything in this world is created first in the mind. And then we bring it into reality through our actions and our desire. But where does every idea come from? It comes from an idea. It comes from our mind. We create it, right? We are conscious creators. And that's the shift between being a victim to becoming a conscious creator and choosing life. And remember that it takes time to get there. So we've got to awaken and activate our imagination again, our belief in ourselves, our dreams, our vision, all of these mental faculties that we've got stored within the powerhouse of our subconscious mind. But what does society tell us? They tell us to stop dreaming. They tell us to stop believing in ourselves. And when we take that on and make that our belief, that's when we destroy all possibility and opportunity in our life. So what I've realized, Jamie, is that when we are living in a victim mentality, we are living in the most primal part of our brain. And you guys might not know about this. Many, many people today are living in a hustle, and they're living in survival. And there's three parts to the brain. So just let me really break this down quickly. It'll help to understand it a little bit more. You've got the back of your brain right here, the reptilian brain. Then you've got the second part of the brain to form the limbic brain, which is where there's the seat of all our memories and emotions. And then we've got the front of our brain here, the neocortex, which should be the CEO of our life. Most people are living in their reptilian brain. We are wired to survive, a 2 million year old brain designed to keep us safe. So when we wake up in the morning, we're constantly looking at what could go wrong. But if we're living in the reptilian brain, we can't be in our imagination, because you can't be dreaming and imagining when you're fearful of what's going to happen in the day. So this is where your power comes in, by choosing to guide and direct your thoughts, guide and direct your emotions every single morning when you wake up and you start rewiring your brain and stop living in this fear mentality. But you've got to stop watching the news. You've got to stop looking at things that are making you scared and fearful of the future. And because if you're living there, that's what you're going to be looking for in your world. And so this is where your power comes in, to start choosing the life that you desire by visualizing it, imagining it, creating it, and giving gratitude for what you do have, so you can maintain that state of attraction in your life. Are you guys feeling what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
100%.
Am I dropping some diamonds? I hope everyone's got a pen and paper, man. I hope everyone's got a pen and paper and they're writing this down.
Mate, you were dropping such gold. It's unbelievable, Jack. It's really, really good. And you said something there which I really want to touch on, is that limbic brain and those filters that we use and those programs that we use to see life. And if you're looking through a dirty lens, everything's going to be blurry and dirty. But if you get that clear and you got that focus, then everything's clear and out there and you can see what's going on. It's so, so important. And you said there, when you wake up in the morning, and it's so critical that when you get up in the morning that you set the focus or set the intention, or that you get that bit right. What are some of the key things to do in the morning, Jack, to really set that? Like, business owners, they're busy, they've got stuff going on everywhere, like what are some things that they can do in the morning to really set the day right so you can start off in the right way? Because if you start the day shithouse, the whole day is shithouse. So if you start early in the morning and you get it going good, then the whole day is good. So what's some things that we can do to really program people's success?
I am so happy that you asked, brother. Yeah, I love Jamie's flexing here. So yeah, this is everything, brother. What I'm about to share with you is what I teach people. This is what I teach young business owners, entrepreneurs. This is what I teach people that are wanting to get out of the hustle and start becoming a creator and move into their future. It all starts right here, brother. And it's rooted in neuroscience, and it's rooted in understanding the neurotransmitters and how to rewire your brain. This stuff is liquid gold, okay? Liquid gold. So please pay close attention here and really learn these things. So first of all, if we are waking up stressed, we are constantly releasing stress hormones in the body. So anytime, if I got you right now, I could do a visualization with you right now, and I could get you to imagine a fearful state and a state in your past. And when we've gone through trauma in our life, when we've been replaying old tapes over and over again, we actually like wire deep neural pathways and circuits to that memory, and it's easier for our mind to go back there. It almost leaves a scar. And what happens is that every time we're experiencing fear or stress, we're releasing cortisol into our body. And this is like a devil's cocktail for our health. It's corrosive for our body. It's burning our body out. It's breaking our body down, and it's causing us to look for the fear and things that could go wrong in our life, right? It's like living like a reptile, basically, man. All you're doing is worrying about sex and survival. Sex and survival. That's it. If you're out there and all you're thinking about is eating and sex, then you're living as a reptile. And no disrespect to anyone, sometimes I've got to keep it real. I like to give it straight, no chaser. You got to know where you're at. But if you want to become a creator, if you want to start introducing what I like to call an angel's cocktail into your body every morning, then you can start changing the neurochemicals that you're releasing every single day. And it's not about getting them externally, it's about creating them internally. And this is the most powerful thing that I teach, the most powerful thing. So when you start your day in the morning and you get up first thing, what are the first thoughts that are ruminating in your mind? Because if you're in a state of worry and stress and thinking about what could go wrong and just go and busy, you are setting yourself up for failure. The way to do it is by getting very, very quiet and very relaxed in the morning and actually sitting down with yourself and starting to prime and focus your mind on what you're wanting to cultivate and create. So it's been proven through neuroscience, scientifically proven, that if we focus on things like our vision in the morning and we get up and we start visualizing and thinking about what we want to create, it actually causes a dopamine surge within the brain. Dopamine is one of the, if not the most powerful molecule that you can release in your brain. It is the motivation molecule. It is the focus molecule. It is the memory recall molecule. So if it is the creative molecule, it's the drive of humanity. It's what pulls you into action. So if you want more motivation, if you want more focus in your life, start releasing dopamine in the morning. So there's a very powerful saying out there. It says it's better to be pulled by your vision than pushed by your problems. So if you're being pushed by your problems into movement, you are releasing cortisol. Cortisol is a pushing hormone, but it burns your body out. And that's why so many entrepreneurs out there and so many business owners end up getting into a hustle and burning out their body's chemistry. They burn out their body because they're in a hustle mindset, because they've been brainwashed to think they've got to push. And that's why they end up adrenal fatigued. And I know this because I've worked in several healing centers around the world, and they've been coming into our centers to heal their adrenal glands. And I myself in my 20s, out of ignorance, out of living a hardcore hustle lifestyle, out of burning my body out with stimulants and pushing, ended up burning my adrenal glands out, Mick, 3 times in my 20s until I started learning this. Now I'm pulled by my vision. Being pulled is so much more powerful. Being pulled into your future is so much more magnetic, and that's using dopamine. Now you can get dopamine externally as well. And this is why it's very important not to be looking at your phone first thing in the morning and getting your dopamine hits from the likes on social media. If you're needing it from an external source, you're disempowering yourself. So you can create it internally, and it causes a nice, slow release of dopamine throughout the day. And that's the goal, to have a nice, steady release that you're releasing internally. Now, it's very important as well to understand not to anchor it to the outcome result. A lot of people try to anchor this and just go, I'll be happy when I make my targets, when I make my 20,000, when I'm making 20,000 a month. I'll be happy when I've got my divine lover. I'll be happy when my business succeeds. No, my brothers and sisters, what's been proven out of success and the people that are constantly successful and continue to grow and evolve and get better and better and better is that they anchor the dopamine response to the process, the constant process. So every time you get a win, you're celebrating yourself along the way. And you're celebrating yourself because of the constant action that you're taking and the progress that you're moving towards your goal. And this is where the power is. Is everyone picking this up right now?
This is golden, right? I couldn't celebrate that enough, because I tell people in the moment, find the opportunity to celebrate. You don't have to wait till the end. You don't have to wait till some mythical time when everything lines up. Celebrate right now. We're here, we're talking. I'm juiced and jacked. I'm celebrating with each and every one of you, and I'm getting that dopamine hit right now. Literally, the three of us on here, and hopefully everyone that's watching too, they're playing full out with us. They're getting that same hit, and that's going to sustain us for the day, the weekend, all of it. Like, that's pure, absolute gold. Don't wait to celebrate. Don't wait. You don't need to wait. Do it now. Experience it right now. That's epic. Now, you shared something earlier, brother. Cruise ship. What's this about cruise ship? Fill us in.
So that's really where my journey started, and it gave me a massive growth opportunity. I didn't have a clue what to do. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know how to present. I didn't know how to have consultations. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to market. I didn't know any of these things. And I just chucked myself in the deep end, because that's how I learn. I learn by swimming. I am very kinesthetic. If I sit on the sideline, I'm not going to learn how to do it. And I think we forget that over time. Many, many people think that they can read it on YouTube. Many people think that they can get it out of a book without doing anything. No, to truly learn something, it has to be cellular. The only way to truly know it is to be it, and the only way to be it is to do it. So I know that about me, Mick. I don't learn by going to university and study. I learn by getting belly to belly, heart to heart, soul to soul with people, and getting out there and physically doing it. So that's how I have learned everything that I've learned, Jamie. And so putting myself in that position of sink or swim on the chips was where I learned. And I went from the first contract. I remember the first seminar I did a seminar, Mick. This is so cool, man. I did my first seminar, okay? And this is something to learn about failing forward, Jamie. I was on the cruise ship. I jumped on this cruise. I just about to do my first seminar. And, you know, our seminar was about booking people in for consultations for nutrition, lifestyle, detoxification. And I closed my first seminar and invited people, made the invitation for people to come and book in with me. And everyone put their head down. Who wants to book in? Who wants to book in? You know, so excited. This is what it looked like, Jamie. Everyone walked out of the room. Oh my gosh, I sat with that shame. I remember sitting with that shame. I was so embarrassed. And man, let me tell you guys that your greatest lessons in life are going to come from your biggest failures. Don't be afraid to fail, because it's in that moment that I made a decision that was going to never happen again. And I was going to become the best version of Jack and become a badass speaker, a powerful presenter, and a person that inspires people to take action in their life. And I'll tell you what happened after that, Mick. I went from not being able to close a single person to within 1 year running the wellness program on the biggest luxury cruise liner in the world, having a 50% success rate of closing the room to come in and book with me and learn from me and grow from me and take action on their life. And I was hitting targets of $30,000 a week.
Wow. That is unbelievable. That is amazing. Like, to go from in a year from not even closing a single person in the room to a 50% close rate. That is amazing percentages, and that's a huge shift. And I bet there was incremental improvements every time. You constantly evolving, constantly learning. What's the secret to that constantly evolving, that constant growth, that always that little shift getting better? What's the secret there? I'm sure you've got some secret sauce on that. Share.
Okay, so look, I mean, I can speak from my own experience, but we can also speak success leaves clues, okay? Success leaves clues, and that's why I've got this map here. Because many, many people don't realize the amount of times that he failed. He's got a quote out there that says everything, and it can sum it up in a nutshell. He says, I have missed over 9,000 shots. I have lost over 300 games, and I have been given the ball to take the winning shot of the game 26 times and missed. And that is why I succeed. That is why I succeed. Look at that photo. He is taking the shot. So many people are sitting on the sidelines and they're waiting for life to happen. They're sitting on the sidelines, bro. There's only a few people that are in the ring because they've got the courage enough to take the shot. That's what it takes, brother. That's what it takes.
I absolutely love that, Jack. And it's a philosophy that I stand by is get in and start. Like, do something. Take a step, because if you stand there and think about it any longer, you're going to convince yourself not to do it. Just bloody start, like just take a step. It doesn't matter what it is. Just do something, like who cares if you get it wrong?
If you fail, hit the ground and get back up. Hit the ground and get back up. Because Mick, I know you got children. Jamie, do you have children?
One child, yep.
Okay. How many times did they hit the ground before they learn how to walk?
Tons.
Heaps.
But did they give up?
No.
And did you keep encouraging them?
Yep.
Always. And we've got to be their biggest cheerleaders. We've got to be the ones to promote them. And that's why one of the things that you mentioned earlier on was making sure that the right people fit in your life, making sure you had that right support system. We don't need those people, and no disrespect to anyone whatsoever out there, but we don't need those people saying, you know what, you didn't make, maybe that's not for you. Maybe you shouldn't just do it. Maybe you should just give up. We've got to really assess our lives and recognize, are they helping us? Are those people, that herd that we have in our life, truly behind us, truly supporting us and doing what we really need us to do? I want the people that push me. I want the people that sometimes even piss me off a little bit because they're challenging me. And when I'm challenging, what's going to happen? I'm going to step up and take that challenge. I'm going to be that guy that's stepping up and taking the shot. Doesn't matter if I get it in or not. I'm going to learn something. That failure, if I fail, man, that's exciting because it's telling me exactly what not to do next time. Small adjustments, huge results.
Yeah. And you're saying something really clear, Jamie, because it's that feeling in that moment that I felt, that shame, that embarrassment, that, that feeling, that is the driver that makes you become better. But you've got a pinnacle moment in that time. Right then, you've got a choice where you could give up. And that's when many people do, Mick. That's when they give up because they hit the ground and they didn't get back up. So right there, you've got a really powerful choice. And that's when you've got to start really looking at the way you're speaking to yourself. And get really clear on your agreements and fall back to your why. I believe that many people don't have a strong enough why. And because they don't have a strong enough why, they give up, brother.
Yep. 100%, Jack. I'm a huge believer in why. Huge believer. And it is the fuel that drives you forward. It is when it's tough and challenging, and believe me, it gets tough and challenging. That's the fuel that gets you up in the morning. Like, it's the fuel. I think it's one thing that a lot of people don't get clear on. And that's, when I do coaching and I help people, I spend a lot of time on that.
Me too.
Because it's critical.
Yeah.
What's we know why is important, and whereabouts do you use that in your life, the why?
So the why should make you cry.
Oh.
Write that down. If you're out there right now, write that down. Your why should make you cry. And if it isn't making you cry, then it's not big enough. That man had a why. That man had a dream. And I'm going to share with you something. When you get clear on that, you've also got to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? Because many people aren't willing to give up the things that are holding them back. Their negative behaviors, the people around them that aren't supporting them, their self-sabotage patterns, their laziness, their lack of enthusiasm, the diets that they're eating aren't serving them, the alcohol on the weekend, the things that they're putting into their body that aren't supporting them. They're not willing to give that up. So after you get really clear on your why, you've got to start asking yourself, who do I have to become? Who do I have to become, and what do I have to give up?
That's big.
Yeah.
What do you have to give up to be that person, to achieve what you want to do? What are the things? Are you willing to make those decisions to give those things up? Are you willing to what to achieve your goal? Are you willing? And they're questions that a lot of people run from. And I'm sure they're things that you work on with your seminars and your programs and your retreats and stuff. And I love the way you reference great people, because success leaves clues. And it's really, really important. It's something that we talked about earlier, is about having that network or having that group or that community, which is part of the reason we started Insiders Elite, is to create a community online that is like-minded, that, you know, want to grow and evolve, and they want to be elite. They want that inside line to the next level. And I love the fact that you surround yourself and you went off adventuring. But what are some things you can do to change your community, change your group right now with where you are? Because not everybody can just uproot and go off and find a new community. You know, they might have things that they have to do, or the things that are tying them to certain locations. So what's some things that people can do to improve their community, or to find people that serve them at a higher level?
Beautiful question, Mick. Beautiful question. And, you know, you're really touching on some powerful points here. There's a few different ways to go around, like, talk about this. One of the first things is that if you don't have a coach, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Do you guys have a coach?
Yep.
Right? Every coach has a coach.
Of course.
Every great coach has a coach. Because you know that if you want to continue to grow to that next level, then you need someone in your life that's showing you the way. So the first question that I started asking is that, who is living the life that I desire? And then go out there and find them. And first of all, many, before I got a coach for many years, Jamie, for many years, Mick, I learned from books, I learned from audios, I learned from YouTube. So getting constantly every day, feeding your mind positivity every single morning, making a commitment to grow and educate yourself. There is so much nectar out there in books. People have written books, 20, 30, 40 years of life wisdom stored in a book, and they're right there available at our fingertips. And how many people are actually reading them?
Not enough.
Every single entrepreneur out there that's being successful is reading constantly every single day, feeding their mind and educating themselves. Because when you learn something, no one can take that away from you anymore. So that's the first one. Then I'd be looking for communities, because there's so many communities out there just like this one, to start being around people that are like-minded, that are encouraging you, that are inspiring you, that are empowering you, that are doing what you're doing. And there's so many communities out there on Facebook now. There's so many communities online that you can connect and be a part of. So you don't need to fully set up and relocate now, Mick, because everything's available at our fingertips. Isn't that amazing, Jamie?
It's incredible. There's no reason. I mean, we're in a great time right now. Yes, we've got this pandemic going on. What a great time to be able to find the opportunity to connect, to do this, right? We've got more time than ever. Invest in that, invest in each other. We get to grow. Absolutely. And you know, you bring us something really beautiful too, Mick, is that you can create your own
Once you get clear on what you want, when you get really certain about who you are, how does every movement start? It starts with one person and a dream and a vision. Look at the movement that this gentleman had on the planet. He was the one. He started it. He started that dream and vision and went out there and started building it. So you have the ability to do that as well in your community, wherever you are, and start attracting like-minded individuals. Trust and believe. When you start sharing your vision with confidence and certainty and clarity, people will want to join and be a part of that, because people want to live a better life. People are yearning for that, but a lot of times they don't know. And just like I didn't know, Mick, when I first got started. When I first got started, Jamie, I didn't know, right? I didn't have that community around me, but I went out there and started building and working on myself. So everyone starts somewhere. And it started for me in my hometown, Mick. I started going to the gym. I stopped going partying and getting drunk. I started going to the gym and exercising and surrounding with people that were improving themselves. There are people out there everywhere, and you will become magnetic and attract that into your life. So the first thing, just to add to you, is getting really, really clear. And your why helps you to get massive clarity in life on exactly where you are. Then the second part of that is getting clear on, when you get really clear on why you want it, why you've got to do it, why you've got to make change in your life, the next step is asking yourself, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to make that a reality? And when you do that, you are going to develop certainty in what you have to do. And certainty is what becomes very attractive. The reason that Elon Musk and people are willing to throw billions of dollars at him is because he is certain that he is going to make this first electric car. He is certain that he's going to change the way that energy is being created on this planet. He is certain that he's going to put people into outer space and go to Mars on this Mars project. It hasn't happened before, mate. Mick, it hasn't happened before. Because he's so certain about it and he's out there promoting it, people are throwing billions of dollars because they want to support him and be a part of his vision. How about that?
That's, as a leader in business, your sole purpose is to have certainty in your vision, in where you're going, in your direction, and what you stand for. And what that does is it attracts like-minded people into your business. It gives people the certainty and belief of where they're going. It gives them a direction. You know, like you said, some really key things there that business owners need to, they do, like all of the programs, like write this stuff down. You know, like this is absolute gold when you get clear on where you're going, what you stand for, why you're in business. You will find that those people just start appearing in your business. Why? Because you are absolutely clear on them, and people want to be like people like themselves. So good people come into your business. That's how you get great talent into your company, is you know what you stand for, you know where you're going, you have a clear vision, and you create that certainty, you know. And that's whether it's in your personal life. There's so many synergies between what happens in business and what happens in your life. And if you treat them the same and do the same things, you're going to create that same success in your personal life that you can in business. You know, it's these key things: why you want to do it, what you stand for, and what have I got to do next to get to the vision, to the goal, to the target, to the inspired place where you want to be, or whatever you want to call it. You know, get those things down pat, and you can go anywhere.
And then the next question that you need to ask after you get clear on the what to add in to continue this conversation is who. What, and the who is the resources. Who do I need to attract into my life? Who do I need to be around? Who are my ideal clients? Who do I want to work with? Who is the mentor that I need? Who is the coach that I need? The who is all about the resources, and it comes after you get clear on the what. So you nailed it, Mick. They're going to come to you after you get clear on the why and the what. And the who, let me show you. This is the fast way. This is how you get in flow with this and make it move really quick. After you get clear on who, the who has already done it. So the who is going to show you where and when, and they're also going to show you how. Yeah. So many people are asking, how am I going to do it? The how is none of your business. Write that down. The how is none of your business. If you get caught in the how, you're going to get stuck. And so many people get caught in the how. They get on YouTube and trying to figure it all out. They're just constantly looking, and they take no action. And then they lose their enthusiasm, their motivation, because you're meant to be living in the why. The who, the how it's going to happen will come to you. And that's the power of co-creating and the power of getting into flow and then working with that synergy of life.
Wow. That's some absolute gold. I hope people are writing this stuff down. Like, people pay
Mick,
tens of thousands of dollars to get this stuff.
Yeah. It is. You know what people do? People pay me thousands of dollars, to get this coaching and this training, this education. This is 12 years of radical commitment, growth to myself, to becoming the best version of me, and then wanting to help others become the best version of themselves. So, it's a blessing to share this, Mick. I'm blessed to be here, brother.
It's absolutely amazing. And to get this value, the very thing that everyone wants to do. If we're talking to you, the audience, each and every one of you, get on this, take these notes, because the combined knowledge of what you're getting from the three of us here, talk about epic, talk about outstanding. We're going to share things with you that is that how, just like you said, Jack, we're giving that how. It's like, I don't know how to schedule. I don't know what I have to, I don't know how to take control of my life. The how, we're presenting it right now. And that's what's great about this, right? It's just putting that all together. Now, another question. You made the decision. You strapped on the big cojones. You went for it. You did it. Was it always just easy from that point forward? Even after that first rejection, was it always just, okay, no, I've got this. I'm doing it? Were the challenges along the way?
Many, constantly. The biggest failure, my biggest breakthroughs come from my biggest failures. And the bigger you play in the world, the bigger your breakdowns are. The bigger you play in the world, the bigger your breakdowns are. So if you're not having breakdowns in your life, you're just not playing big enough. Yeah. Right? So if you want a small life, then that's okay. That's okay. If you want a small life, that's okay. But if you want a big life, get ready for big breakdowns.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah, my teacher, one of my mentors, she's amazing. She leads a massive company, worth multi-millions of dollars, inspires hundreds of millions of people all around the world. Amazing woman. And she says something very powerful. She said that, I don't care if you make mistakes. I don't care if you make 1,000 mistakes. Just make sure 999 are different.
Mm. That's a philosophy that I use in my That's a philosophy that I use in my business. Like, as a company, I only want to make each mistake once, not as an individual. I want to try to create a collective mindset to improve everybody. It's okay that you made that mistake, but let's make that the only time this whole business makes that mistake.
Yeah.
So we're not repeating it. So we can learn from everybody's. As a group, we can learn from everybody's mistakes, so that we can speed up the process. Not just everyone's got to go through and climb the ladder because they make that mistake and then they learn, and they make the mistake and they learn. We can all climb together. I absolutely love that analogy, that saying. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Just to add on to it, Mick, it comes back all 360, to the start of this conversation, Jamie, with the question that you asked about growth mindset. And all successful people in the world have this growth mindset, and they fail forward. You will fail your way to success. And every time they make a mistake, and every time they have a lesson, they always go back and they contemplate and they reflect and they ask themselves, first, what are 3 things that I did really well? Because they celebrate the wins, and then they link, remember, the dopamine response to the process, and that helps them to continue to move forward. And then they always ask, one thing that I could do better.
Mm-hmm.
Those mastery questions, and they've got heaps of different names, and lots of different people teach them different ways, but basically they're mastery questions. If you want to master anything, what's 3 things that I did well, or what that worked? What's one thing that I could do better? And what's one thing that I can do differently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you ask those questions with everything you do, whether it's business, whether it's your health, whether it's it doesn't matter, whether it's your kids, relationship,
family, your faith, your spirituality, your personal development, brother, your finances.
Every area of your life, if you use those questions, it's inevitable that you're going to move up. because it's inevitable, because you're going to get that mastery mindset. You're going to get that constant growth. What's one thing I can do better? What's something I can do differently? Step. And then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, holy shit, look where I am. I'm already at the top of the mountain.
Yes. Yeah, and the view's looking really good. And then you ask yourself, right, Jamie, what's the next mountain?
Exactly. Oh, there it is over there. Right.
Wow.
You see it, you seek it out. It's like us with this show. I mean, when we first started out, we didn't have all the fanciness. We were doing Zoom. Half the time it would go on. Sometimes we wouldn't even get it out live or anything. Now it's easy and effortless because we learned each and every time. What do we have to do better? What can we do to make it simpler? What can we do to have more fun while we're doing it? We add something on each and every time. Where we are now is nowhere like where we came from with this. That's that right? That constant, never-ending improvement. That's what it's all about.
That's amazing, Jamie. And I just want to celebrate you for that, brother. I want to celebrate you for your consistent commitment to wanting to get information out to people and help people. I want to celebrate you, Mick, for that process that you're going through, because I know that stretch that you're going through. And it's very important, there's a fine line between stressing yourself and stretching yourself. Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Look, with that said, I want to just put it out there, Jack. If anyone wants to reach out to you, to work with you, to chat to you, to be a part of your community, to get involved, or even just, to catch up, how can people get a hold of you? Where can they find you? What's the best way to get in contact before we finish the show?
So, basically, I pretty much run everything through Facebook at the moment, Mick. I'm super busy. I run everything through Facebook. I'm starting my own group. I've got a group which is called the Growth Zone. It's an exclusive group where I teach all of these things in a lot more detail. I go in and teach people how to reprogram their mind, how to upgrade their life, how to create these success principles in life. I really love working with young entrepreneurs that are wanting to get off the ground and cultivate the right mindset and the right attitudes and get the right tools behind them to really take those steps into building the life and business of their dreams. Because I have it in my life and I know what it takes to get there. So I also do hypnosis, Mick. I am a professional hypnotist. This is a very, very powerful tool that I have learned to help to reprogram people's subconscious mind and give them their power back. Now, many people know about it. I didn't know about it before I started doing it, but it has been one of the most transformational technologies that I've started using. So I do this. I use it within my coaching programs, and within my group, I'll also be offering it as well. So if you want to reach out to me, PM me, connect with me on Facebook, add me as a friend, and just watch my page, because I'm always going live and sharing gold nuggets on my page of just inspiring and empowering people. I just love bringing positivity in the world right now. It's just so needed, right? How needed is positivity now?
And look, that was the foundation for this show. We were like, people need information. They need to know where this stuff comes from. We need to, if this show helps one business owner be better and be successful, then that'll do me. It's helped somebody, and that's why we put it out there. And Jack, we're friends on Facebook and we've been friends a long time, and I absolutely love your outside Facebook lives. You jump on and you share gold nuggets all the time, and I absolutely love it. It's outside. I'm an outside person too. I love being outside. I'm actually going to move my spot for the show back outside again now, because the weather's amazing and it's not freezing cold in the mornings.
Got that desert weather out there in the winter.
Yeah. So reach out to Jack if you find him on Facebook. Reach out to him, and he is amazing, and there's lots of gold nuggets there to share. Jamie, any final words?
Yeah, definitely, Jack. I want to thank you so much for your time. The thousands upon thousands of golden nuggets that you dropped on us today, those diamonds, they were literally falling out of the sky. I hope everyone really took those notes here. But first and foremost, thank you so much. Viewers, please, Jack Cross, look him up, find him, follow him, become a friend, because the nuggets, the information, I know they're going to keep coming. Jack shared some information with us before the show. I'm not going to let it drop, but there's going to be even more stuff coming out. He's going to have even more value. If there was ever a time to get on that inside, I would say the time is right now.
Ooh, juicy.
Just like that said, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.